got a lot to talk about with UFOs today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I'll talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, yeah, this is very interesting from George Knapp and Weaponized with Jeremy Corbell, James Lacatski clearing the air about the situation with Lue Elizondo. It's a longer clip than I usually play. It's 2 minutes long, but let's listen because I think it's important. Here goes.
This week, a news organization, as a producer, writes to Jim Lacatski, and here is the essence of the message they sent to him. They said, "We're doing this show about Lue Elizondo. We understand you were an early part of a program called OSAP. We'd like to get a photo of you and use it in our story." Well, you know Lacatski, he's sort of a stickler for accuracy. So if you designed a message to provoke a reaction from him, that's pretty much what it would be. I don't think that that's what they did, but it's what happened is he responded to me. He says, "I don't want to be part of your program. Lue had nothing to do with OSAP. I'm not giving you my photo." And basically he said, "I was the director of OSAP from beginning to end. Lue had nothing to do with it." That comment in an email to a producer saying, "I don't want to be part of the story," gets entered into this larger piece about Elizondo, and it looks like a slant. It looks like Lacatski's going after Lue. He was responding to a question about an ill-phrased question, asking him for a photo. He wanted nothing to do with it.
So yeah, he wanted nothing to do with it, and that was his response. I still don't know if that was a good response, however, judging by the controversy that it has stirred up. So let me know if you are satisfied with that explanation for James Lacatski's comments. You know, whether he's saying it in an informal email or otherwise. He did say, Lue wasn't part of ATIP. So to me, that's significant. Whether it's, whatever the intention was. So, yeah, let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Meanwhile, from Ross Coulthart, talking about whether or not Donald Trump could release the UFO files if he got into the White House. Ross says, important point. The president cannot unilaterally declassify UAP data, even if he or she wanted to. Explains why the proposed UAP disclosure laws are so essential. UAP information is as protected as nuclear weapons, likely even more so. What is so secret, even a president is gagged. Yeah, indeed. What is so secret, Ross? I think we all know they've been up to some funky stuff low these many years, and many crimes would be revealed if they told the truth. And also, they may not want to tell the truth for whatever reason. If indeed they are working with the beings, then that indeed may be a directive from the beings themselves. Obviously, the beings could disclose at any time they wanted to. And could that be why people are seeing more and more UFOs around the world all the time? Because the beings do want to disclose, but they don't want it to come through the government. They want this grassroots understanding to emerge among the populace. And then, once enough people get on board, then we can pressure the government into doing something, and they will. Maybe, maybe not. I think that's where things are headed, though. But let me know your theories about that in the comments below. Meanwhile, also on Weaponized, this is some music playing, but I'll just read what Jeremy is saying right here. In this new episode of Weaponized, George Knapp and I highlight that time UFOs attacked 2,000 humans. If you don't know, you're about to find out. And this is, of course, about the Colares incident, which I think is an extremely important UFO series of incidents. And, many people were indeed harmed. There were lives lost. We need to understand why. We need to know what group was doing it, why they were doing it. Is it possible that humans could have been the perpetuators? It's hard to understand the rationale behind that. I don't understand that. What would be the motive? These people that were the victims were being targeted by these beams and possibly drained of blood. It became known as the chupa chupa phenomenon, the suck suck phenomenon, because they were being drained of blood. And while that sounds humorous, they were being drained of blood. Some of them developed anemic symptoms. Some died. It was a very alarming chain of events. What's the deal? I want to think very well of the phenomenon, and my interactions with the phenomenon and the greater phenomenon have been very positive. But there are definitely negative examples out there, and I would like an answer to this. I would like to know if this is the group the UFO control group is working with. Or, indeed, could it be the UFO control group themselves doing it? Because Jacques Vallée seemed to be indicating that was what his research was indicating, was some sort of man-made, presence there in Colares. So, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We got shape-shifting Jesus. That's kind of a weird one. I think I'm gonna get to Jesus, but it's gonna be in a different way here in a second. But first of all, Alex DeLarge replied to me from the video I made the other day, and he says, "Just watched your video on my leaked Eric Davis confession," because of course Alex DeLarge is the one that put that out there. He says you should look into this guy too. So who is this guy? Is General Jack Sheehan still around? According to Jacques Vallée, he found the craft prior to Admiral Wilson. And not only did he get to see it, he also touched it. So if Admiral Tom Wilson, saw a craft, this guy got there first. So what is his story? I would love to know. Has he ever gone public? Has he ever done an interview? If you've seen anything from this guy, I would be very curious. So let me know if your research has uncovered anything from General Jack Sheehan. No relation, presumably, to Danny. And we'll get to Danny in a minute, too. Okay, another great UFO video from John Bell. Some of you guys are not excited about John's videos, but I don't see why not. I mean, look at that. Look at that. He gets these nightly contacts, sometimes with seemingly nuts and bolts craft in the sky, sometimes with these luminous orbs. And here we have an orb that I presume is the orb that he calls Tinkerbell, running around playing with him. And when his beam hits it, it lights up. Isn't that wild, guys? That is so cool. That is so cool. How can y'all guys not be excited about John Bell's amazing footage from real Florida UFO? Go check out his channel, and I will link to it in the comments below. He gets nightly contact with these amazing phenomena. Speaking of cool UFO videos, Jerry Tedesco, John Tedesco, and Donna Leonardo presenting new UAP footage captured during the 10-month scientific UAP study along the coast of Long Island, New York. Never before seen footage from the study on The Good Trouble Show with Matt Ford, who runs an awesome channel, by the way. All right, check out this lovely UFO footage. It's several minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I will link to it. And you can watch the full thing at your leisure. But here we go. It looks like a triangular-shaped craft. What do you think, guys? Is that alien? Is that Lockheed Martin or Raytheon running around? Yeah, and by the way, Raytheon is apparently in some trouble for selling U.S. secrets to our enemies. Hopefully, if they do have UFO tech, that has not wound up in the hands of U.S. enemies. That is very alarming, and apparently they are being fined $200 million or something like that. I would set the fine a little higher if it's UFO technology. But yeah, check it out. You got cool orbs, you got triangles, good stuff captured by these investigators. You got an orb coming over the horizon on the ocean. I bet that was pretty cool to see in person. You're standing on the beach, you got these colorful orbs doing their thing. Pretty neat stuff. Pretty neat stuff, guys. I like it. I like it. All right, I told you I was going to get to Jesus, so let's talk about the Shroud of Turin. Is this the image of Jesus of Nazareth? New X-ray analysis just revealed the Shroud of Turin, Christ's alleged burial cloth, to be 2,000 years old. And isn't that a crazy, startling image? I mean, I think this is like enhanced, but still a really cool image. So the deal on the Shroud of Turin, I thought, it was settled a long time ago. Back when I was an atheist, I've been an atheist most of my life, a non-believer in the spiritual, until just a few years ago when I began to encounter it. And once you've encountered it, it's hard to close your eyes after that. But back when I was an atheist, I heard the Shroud of Turin had been debunked, that carbon dating had placed it in the medieval period. So, that was the end of the story as far as I was concerned. But a new X-ray technique was used to study the aging of the linen's flax cellulose. It found that the breakdown of the cellulose matches that of other 2,000-year-old samples, not medieval samples. If it was just 7 centuries old, as the 1988 test suggests, the cellulose would have to have aged incredibly fast. To do that, it would have to have been kept at a temperature very close to the maximum values registered on the Earth. What? Yeah, I don't think it was kept to the maximum values registered on the Earth. And also, there's other stuff too. Nobody has a clue how the image on the cloth was made. There's no pigment or dye present. The fibers themselves seem to be discolored to form the image, and the concentration of those fibers is what creates darker or lighter sections. It also appears to be a photographic negative. In 1898, someone first noticed what happens when you reverse the image. So a photographic negative, very intriguing. Its luminescence correlates continuously with the distance from the body to the cloth, like a 3D image. Nothing like it has ever been seen on something this old. If this was a medieval hoax, simply pulling it off was a miracle in itself. And yeah, it's a crazy image, isn't it? That is wild. Then there are the physical accuracies, says Culture Critic, who is the one posting this, by the way. A very, very nice series of posts here. Thank you, Culture Critic. The wounds are consistent, he says, with Roman crucifixion and the specifics of the Bible account. Marks from the crown of thorns, stab wound in the side, lacerations on the back, and bruises on the shoulders. Even if this wasn't Christ himself, it appears at least to be a victim of a real crucifixion showing all the exact hallmarks of Christ. Very intriguing. As many of you know, I had my own Jesus experience during an ayahuasca ceremony. It was so vivid, I felt like I was making contact with the man himself. And again, I was an atheist for most of my life until I started encountering the metaphysical a few years ago. And in my research and near-death experiences, I came across many people that had experience with Jesus. And, I was a non-Christian, but I thought that was intriguing that even other non-Christians were seeing Jesus when they died. So I researched Jesus, trying to find the most alternative ways of researching him I could find. I wasn't going to read the Bible. So I found the Dolores Cannon books on Jesus, where she has hypnotically regressed people to recall past lives where they met Jesus. And so there's 2 books about their experiences with Jesus. One of the people that encountered Jesus was his teacher in the Torah. And the first book is told from that individual's point of view. A great book. If you're curious, I definitely encourage you to check it out. It's kind of a trippy vision of Jesus mixed up with Atlantis and UFOs. Aliens show up. There's reincarnation. It's a very new agey vision of Jesus. Very cool, though. And so I was reading these books going into the ayahuasca ceremony, and I'm really resonating with the material. And during the ceremony, I reach out to him, and I'm really resonating very strongly with it. And I encounter what I feel like is Jesus. It was so powerful, I expected him just to pop out and wave at me, which, if you're familiar with ayahuasca, isn't impossible according to many people that have seen some stuff. I didn't see anything, but I asked for a sign if this was real. Am I just tripping? I mean, I was definitely tripping. Or am I actually having a contact experience? So a month goes by. Nothing happens. A month later, a month after the ayahuasca ceremony, when I'm driving down the road perfectly sober, a UFO makes the shape of the cross in the sky, going like that. Just really wild. I expand upon it more in a dedicated video. See the playlist, my experiences under my Jesus Ayahuasca UFO. And when I got home, I went in the backyard and I asked for confirmation. And I looked up at the stars and said, "Hey, did that really happen?" And another bright object appeared very slowly, and then very slowly rippled out. And then I asked for confirmation of that, and I didn't get it. I was getting greedy at that point. I was getting greedy. But there you go. For those of you who haven't heard it, my Jesus experience. So now I am a cautious believer in Jesus, not necessarily a Christian in the religious sense, but in the spiritual sense. Okay, moving on. John Greenwald says NASA has addressed the noise coming from Starliner. The spooky noises in space. Well, here is what NASA had to say for themselves. A pulsing sound from a speaker in Boeing's Starliner spacecraft heard by NASA astronaut Butch Wilmore aboard the International Space Station has stopped. The feedback from the speaker was the result of an audio configuration between the space station and Starliner. The space station audio system is complex, allowing multiple spacecraft and modules to be interconnected, and it is common to experience noise and feedback. The crew is asked to contact mission control when they hear sounds originating in the comm system. The speaker feedback, Wilmore reported, has no technical impact to the crew, Starliner, or station operations, including Starliner's uncrewed undocking from the station no earlier than Friday, September 6th. So there you go. There's a deadline for them to get out of that predicament. September 6th. In just a few days, they are leaving those shores and they are coming home. Hopefully, guys. And according to NASA, those spooky noises, nothing to see here, folks. But can we trust NASA? Sadly, we can't trust NASA. Unfortunately, they've been complicit in the UFO cover-up. Although these many years, they have been working hand in glove with the UFO control group to hide reality, what is reality from us, guys. It's so frustrating. So let me know if you buy NASA's explanation or not. Personally, maybe they're right. Maybe they're telling the truth here. But it's just so sad that we can't trust them. So, who knows? Let me know your thoughts about that and everything else covered today in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in an even bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below. Or if you're a science fiction, fantasy, or horror fan and you're a reader, check out my books on Amazon and other platforms. I'm a novelist. You might enjoy some of them, so just see that link below. And if you want to support Cosmic Road in a different way, become a channel member, because channel members are rock stars. And I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much, guys. See you guys next time. There's plenty of other videos on the channel. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.